Question 1. Adjusting claims scenario. Mr. Thompson has submitted a claim for damage to his home caused by a severe storm. During the investigation, you discover that the damage to the roof was exacerbated by Mr. Thompson's failure to perform regular maintenance, which would have prevented the extent of the damage. As the adjuster, what is your next step? A. Deny the claim outright due to lack of maintenance. B. Recommend to Mr. Thompson that he file a complaint against his insurance company. C. Assess the claim based on the terms of the policy and the extent of storm damage while documenting the maintenance issue. D. Inform Mr. Thompson that only the maintenance-related damages are covered. Answer. C. Assess the claim based on the terms of the policy and the extent of storm damage while documenting the maintenance issue. Explanation. In this scenario, as an adjuster, you must assess the claim based on the coverage provided in the policy, which likely includes storm damage. While Mr. Thompson's lack of maintenance may affect the claim, it does not necessarily invalidate it. According to Ohio law and best practices for claims handling, you should document all findings, including any maintenance issues, but your primary duty is to evaluate the damage from the storm and how it correlates with the coverage. Denying the claim outright. Option A is premature without a thorough assessment. Option B misguides Mr. Thompson as he does not need to file a complaint at this stage, and option D incorrectly implies that only maintenance-related damages are relevant, ignoring the policy's coverage for storm damage. Question 2. General insurance concepts. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in insurance? A. Ensures that an insured party receives a payment equal to the total value of the loss incurred. B. It allows for recovery of damages only up to the policy limit, regardless of the actual loss. C. It prevents insured parties from profiting from insurance claims beyond the actual loss. D. It grants the insurer the right to reclaim payment if the insured party receives payment from other sources. Answer. C. It prevents insured parties from profiting from insurance claims beyond the actual loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity is foundational in insurance as it ensures that the insured is compensated for their loss but does not profit from it. This principle protects both the insurer and the insured by preventing moral hazard, whereby an insured might take unnecessary risks if they stand to gain from a loss. According to Ohio law and standard insurance practices, the compensation should reflect the actual financial loss incurred, ensuring fairness and preventing unjust enrichment. Options A and B misinterpret this principle, while option D refers to subrogation rather than indemnity. Question 3. Policy analysis. In reviewing a homeowner's policy, you come across a clause stating that damage caused by wear and tear is excluded from coverage. Which of the following best describes the significance of this exclusion? A. Ensures that only sudden and accidental damages are covered. B. It allows the insured to receive compensation for all types of damage, regardless of their cause. C. It limits the insurer's liability for damages that result from a lack of maintenance over time. D. It implies that any damages resulting from an external event are automatically covered. Answer. C. It limits the insurer's liability for damages that result from a lack of maintenance over time. Explanation. The exclusion of wear and tear ECA homeowners policy is significant because it delineates the boundary of the insurer's responsibilities, specifically concerning damages that occur gradually due to the homeowner's neglect or failure to maintain the property. This exclusion is common in insurance policies and is critical for insurers to limit their liability for predictable maintenance issues. Understanding such exclusions helps adjusters effectively analyze claims and inform policyholders about their coverage. Option is misleading as it does not encompass all policy provisions. Option B contradicts the essence of exclusions, and option D misrepresents the nature of coverage, as external events may still be subject to other exclusions. Question 4. Risk management and loss control. An insurance adjuster is conducting a risk assessment for a commercial property that has multiple tenants. During the assessment, the adjuster identifies several safety hazards, including improper electrical wiring and outdated fire suppression systems. What should the adjuster do next regarding these hazards? A. Report the hazards to the property owner and recommend immediate corrective actions. B. Ignore the hazards as they are outside the scope of the claim being investigated. C. Inform the tenants about the hazards and suggest they seek independent assessments. D. Document the hazards and evaluate how they might impact future claims but take no immediate action. Answer A. Report the hazards to the property owner and recommend immediate corrective actions. Explanation. As an adjuster, it is critical to prioritize the safety of the property and its occupants, identifying and reporting hazards like improper electrical wiring and outdated fire suppression systems not only protects tenants but also mitigates future risks and claims. According to best practices in risk management and loss control, an adjuster should communicate these findings to the property owner and recommend corrective actions. Ignoring the hazards, option B, could lead to liability issues for the insurer. Informing tenants, option C, is not sufficient if the property owner can take immediate action, and merely documenting the hazards without taking further action, option D, fails to uphold the adjuster's responsibilities. Question 5. Ethics and professional conduct. As an adjuster, you are faced with a situation where a colleague is pressuring you to settle a claim quickly for an amount that you believe is lower than the actual damages incurred. What is the most ethical course of action? A. Agree to the settlement to avoid conflict and maintain workplace harmony. B. Evaluate the claim independently and advocate for a settlement that reflects the true value of the damages. C. Raise the issue with your supervisor but proceed with the quick settlement to meet deadlines. D. Refuse to work on the claim entirely and report your colleague to the State Insurance Board. Answer. B. Evaluate the claim independently and advocate for a settlement that reflects the true value of the damages. Explanation. Ethical conduct in claims handling requires that adjusters act in the best interests of the policyholder and uphold the integrity of the claims process. Evaluating the claim independently ensures that you have a clear understanding of the damages and allows you to advocate for a fair settlement. Agreeing to lower settlement, option A, compromises the ethical standards of the profession. Option C partially addresses the issue but fails to prioritize the accuracy of the claim evaluation while reporting unethical behavior. Option D is an option. It may be more effective to first advocate for the appropriate settlement before escalating the matter. Question 6. Policy analysis. A homeowner's policy includes a standard exclusion for damage resulting from flood. After a major storm, the homeowner files a claim for water damage that occurred due to the storm's heavy rainfall. Which of the following is true regarding the claim? A. The claim will be honored since the damage is related to a storm. B. The claim will likely be denied due to the flood exclusion in the policy. C. The claim can be honored if the homeowner provides proof of regular maintenance of the drainage system. D. The adjuster should recommend the homeowner file a claim under their auto insurance instead. Answer. B. The claim will likely be denied due to the flood exclusion in the policy. Explanation. Most homeowners' policies contain explicit exclusions for flood damage, meaning that water damage caused by flooding is not covered regardless of the storm conditions. The adjuster must evaluate the specific terms of the policy and apply them accordingly. While the damage may relate to storm conditions, option A, the flood exclusion remains in effect. Providing proof of maintenance, option C, does not negate the exclusion. Exclusions typically remain enforceable regardless of maintenance efforts. Suggesting the homeowner file under auto insurance, option D, is inappropriate as auto policies do not cover home damages. Question 7. General insurance concepts. Which of the following statements best describes subrogation in the context of insurance claims? A. It allows an insured party to receive multiple payouts for the same loss. B. It grants the insurer the right to pursue a third party responsible for a loss after compensating the insured. C. It is a process where an insurer must reimburse the insured for any out-of-pocket expenses. D. It ensures that the insured cannot seek compensation from their insurer if they are partially at fault for a loss. Answer. B. That grants the insurer the right to pursue a third party responsible for a loss after compensating the insured. Explanation. Subrogation is a legal right that allows an insurer, after compensating an insured for a loss, to pursue recovery from the third party responsible for that loss. This process helps insurers mitigate their losses and maintain lower premium costs. Option is incorrect because subrogation does not allow multiple payouts for the same loss. It instead seeks to recover funds already disbursed. Option C mischaracterizes subrogation as it involves pursuing third parties rather than reimbursing the insured. Option D is misleading, as subrogation rights exist regardless of the insured's fault, ensuring the insurer can recoup losses when another party is liable. Question 8. Current trends in insurance. With the increasing use of technology in the insurance industry, which of the following trends is most likely to impact the role of an insurance adjuster? A. Increased reliance on manual claim processing and paperwork. B. Adoption of artificial intelligence to analyze claims data and expedite settlements. C. A shift towards fewer communication channels between adjusters and claimants. D. Greater regulatory restrictions on how claims are evaluated. Answer: B. Adoption of artificial intelligence to analyze claims data and expedite settlements. Explanation: the adoption of technology, particularly artificial intelligence (AI), is transforming the insurance industry, including the role of adjusters. The AI can analyze large volumes of claims data, quickly identifying patterns that assist in expediting the claims process and improving accuracy. Option is contrary to the current trend towards digital solutions. Option C would be unlikely, as technology often facilitates more communication options, while regulatory changes. Option D can occur. The most significant trend affecting adjusters is the integration of AI and technology into claims processing. Question 9. Problem-solving skills. During a claims investigation, you encounter conflicting information between the claimant's statement and the evidence collected. The claimant asserts that the damage occurred suddenly, but your investigation reveals previous damages that were unreported. How should you proceed? A. Accept the claimant's account as the truth to maintain a good relationship. B. Gather additional evidence and documentation to clarify the discrepancies before making a decision. C. Immediately deny the claim based on the previous damages found. D. Inform the claimant that the claim will be processed based on their initial statement, regardless of evidence. Answer: B. Gather additional evidence and documentation to clarify the discrepancies before making a decision. Explanation: in situations where there is conflicting information, the best approach is to gather further evidence and documentation to clarify the facts. This aligns with ethical practices and the need for thoroughness in claims investigations. Accepting the claimant's account without further inquiry. Option A compromises the integrity of the investigation while denying the claim outright. Option C, without thorough consideration, could lead to disputes. Informing the claimant that the initial statement will dictate the claim. Option D disregards the importance of factual accuracy in the claims process. Question 10. Claims process. A policyholder is unhappy with the settlement offer for their property damage claim and has requested a review. As an adjuster, what is your responsibility in this situation? A. Ignore the request, as the settlement offer is final once made. B. Explain the reasons for the offer and provide documentation supporting the decision. C. Recommend the policyholder seek legal counsel to dispute the settlement offer. D. Immediately adjust the settlement offer based on the policyholder's request. Answer: B. Explain the reasons for the offer and provide documentation supporting the decision. Explanation: when a policyholder expresses dissatisfaction with a settlement offer, it is the adjuster's responsibility to communicate transparently about the rationale behind the offer. This includes providing documentation that supports the settlement decision and ensuring the policyholder understands how the amount was determined. Ignoring the request, option A, is unprofessional and does not fulfill your duties. While recommending legal counsel, option C, can be appropriate in some circumstances, it should not be the first course of action. Adjusting the offer, option D, without basis undermines the claims process and could lead to further issues. Question 11. Types of insurance. A small business owner has taken out a business owner's policy (BOP) that includes coverage for property and liability. However, the owner is concerned about business interruptions due to natural disasters. Which of the following statements best describes the coverage for business interruption under BOP? A. Business interruption coverage is included automatically in all BOP policies. B. Business interruption coverage is always excluded from BOP policies. C. Business interruption coverage can be added as an endorsement to the BOP for an additional premium. D. Business interruption coverage is provided only if the business has experienced direct physical loss. Answer: C. Business interruption coverage can be added as an endorsement to the BOP for an additional premium. Explanation: business owners' policies typically cover property and liability but do not automatically include business interruption coverage. Business interruption insurance is often available as an endorsement that can be added to the BOP for an additional premium. Therefore, the owner should inquire about adding this coverage specifically. Option is incorrect because it's not automatically included. Option B is misleading, as it suggests that business interruption coverage is never available, which is not true. Option D implies that business interruption coverage is contingent solely on physical loss, which is partially true but does not address the availability of coverage through endorsements. Question 12. Claims handling procedures. During a claims investigation, you discover that the claimant has a history of fraudulent claims. What is the appropriate course of action for the adjuster to take in this situation? A. Continue processing the claim without any further investigation. B. Immediately deny the claim without further discussion. C. Conduct a thorough investigation into the current claim and document findings before making a decision. D. Report the claimant's history to the media to prevent future fraud. Answer: C. Conduct a thorough investigation into the current claim and document findings before making a decision. Explanation: when an adjuster encounters a claimant with a history of fraudulent claims, it is crucial to conduct a thorough investigation of the current claim to determine its validity. Documenting all findings is essential for supporting any decisions made regarding the claim. Option A is negligent as it disregards the history of fraud. While option B might seem tempting, an immediate denial without investigation could expose the insurer to liability if the claim is legitimate. Reporting the claimant to the media, option D, is unethical and unprofessional. Such matters should be handled internally. Question 13. Indemnity. A policyholder suffers a loss of $50,000 due to a fire, and their insurance policy has a coverage limit of $40,000. If the policyholder had a $1,000 deductible, how much will the insurance company pay for the loss? A. $40,000. B. $39,000. C. $49,000. D. $50,000. Answer: B. $39,000. Explanation: under the principle of indemnity, the insurer is obligated to restore the policyholder to the financial position they were in before the loss up to the policy limit. In this case, the total loss is $50,000, but the coverage limit is $40,000. After applying the $1,000 deductible, the payment will be calculated as follows. Payment equals coverage limit. Deductible equals $40,000. $1,000 is equals $39,000. Thus, the insurer will pay $39,000 for the loss. Question 14. Prohibited practices. As an adjuster, you're aware of certain practices that are prohibited by the Ohio Department of Insurance. Which of the following actions would be considered a prohibited practice? A. Settling a claim without conducting a proper investigation. B. Charging a fee for providing a claim status update to a policyholder. C. Recommending that a policyholder seek legal counsel if they are unhappy with a settlement. D. Offering a discount on premiums for policyholders who bundle multiple policies. Answer A. Settling a claim without conducting a proper investigation. Explanation: settling a claim without a proper investigation is considered a prohibited practice because it undermines the integrity of the claims process and could result in unjust settlements. This action can expose the insurer to liability and violates the duty to act in good faith. Option B is also prohibited, as insurers and adjusters cannot charge fees for routine services like providing claim updates. Option C is not prohibited. Advising legal counsel is acceptable. Offering discounts for bundled policies, option D, is a common marketing practice and is not prohibited. Question 15. Understanding policy forms. When reviewing a property insurance policy, you come across the term exclusions. But what is the primary purpose of exclusions in an insurance policy? A. To clarify what is covered under the policy. B. To define the policy limits and deductibles. C. To specify situations or items that are not covered by the policy. D. To outline the rights and responsibilities of the policyholder. Answer: C. To specify situations or items that are not covered by the policy. Explanation: exclusions in an insurance policy are specifically designed to outline what is not covered, helping to clarify the scope of the policy. This is essential for both the insurer and the insured to understand the limits of coverage. Option incorrectly suggests exclusions clarify coverage, which is the opposite of their function. Options B and D pertain to different aspects of the policy, but they do not accurately define the purpose of exclusions. Question 16. Negotiation skills. An adjuster is negotiating a settlement with a claimant who insists on a higher payout than what the adjuster believes is justified based on the evidence. What strategy should the adjuster employ during this negotiation? A. Stand firm on the initial offer and refuse to negotiate further. B. Use evidence from the investigation to explain the rationale behind the offer while remaining open to discussion. C. Agree to the claimant's demands to expedite the process. D. Ask the claimant to provide documentation supporting their requested amount. Answer: B. Use evidence from the investigation to explain the rationale behind the offer while remaining open to discussion. Explanation: the best approach in this negotiation is to leverage evidence from the investigation to justify the offer made. This not only demonstrates professionalism and transparency, but also encourages a constructive dialogue between the adjuster and the claimant. Option A is inflexible and could lead to resentment. Agreeing to the claimant's demands, option C undermines the adjuster's role and may set a precedent for future claims. While option D may seem reasonable, it places the burden of proof on the claimant rather than demonstrating due diligence on the adjuster's part. Question 17. Claims process. A homeowner files a claim for a burglary that resulted in a loss of several expensive items. During the claims investigation, the adjuster finds that the homeowner had not taken reasonable precautions to secure the property. How does this affect the claims process? A. The claim must be denied outright due to negligence. B. The adjuster must assess whether the lack of precautions contributed to the loss and determine if coverage applies. C. The homeowner is automatically responsible for the full value of the lost items. D. The claim should be paid in full, as the homeowner deserves compensation regardless of their actions. Answer. B. The adjuster must assess whether the lack of precautions contributed to the loss and determine if coverage applies. Explanation. In such cases, the adjuster needs to evaluate whether the homeowner's failure to take reasonable precautions contributed to the loss. This assessment can affect the outcome of the claim, including potential adjustments to the settlement based on negligence. An outright denial, option A, is not appropriate without a thorough investigation. The homeowner is not automatically responsible for the full value of the items, option C, and compensation should be based on the coverage terms. Simply paying the claim in full, option D, without consideration of the circumstances would not be justifiable. Question 18. Legal theories relevant to adjusting. Which of the following legal theories is most relevant to the role of an insurance adjuster when determining liability in a claims investigation? A. Res ipsa loquitur. B. Negligence per se. C. Vicarious liability. D. Strict liability. Answer. B. Negligence per se. Explanation. Negligence per applies when a defendant's actions violate a statute or regulation designed to protect a specific group of people, leading to injury or damage. For an insurance adjuster, understanding this concept is vital when evaluating liability in claims involving regulatory violations. Option A. Res ipsa loquitur is a legal doctrine but is less directly applicable to adjusters than negligence per se. Vicarious liability, option C, pertains to holding one party responsible for the actions of another, which can be relevant but is secondary. Strict liability, option D, applies primarily to certain activities or products and is not as broadly applicable as negligence per in typical claims. Question 19. Insurance terminology. Which of the following terms best describes the amount an insured must pay out of pocket before an insurer will pay a claim? A. Copayment. B. Deductible. C. Coinsurance. D. Limit of liability. Answer. B. Deductible. Explanation. A deductible is the specific amount that the insured must pay before the insurance company contributes to a claim. Understanding deductibles is critical for both adjusters and policyholders as it directly impacts the settlement process. Option A refers to copayments, typically in health insurance, not property insurance. Coinsurance, option C, refers to a provision where the insured shares in the cost of a claim after the deductible has been met, often expressed as a percentage of the total claim amount. Limit of liability, option D, refers to the maximum amount an insurer will pay for a covered loss under the terms of the policy. Thus, the correct term for the amount that must be paid out of pocket before insurance coverage applies is indeed B, deductible. Question 20. Policy limits and underinsurance. A policyholder has a homeowner's insurance policy with a limit of $200,000. After a major storm, the property is assessed to have damages amounting to $250,000. How will the insurance company handle this situation? A. The policyholder will receive a payment of $200,000, as that is the policy limit. B. The policyholder will receive the full $250,000 for the damages. C. The claim will be denied since the damages exceed the policy limit. D. The insurer will pay $200,000 and the policyholder will be responsible for the remaining $50,000. Answer A. The policyholder will receive a payment of $200,000 as that is the policy limit. Explanation. Insurance policies have limits that define the maximum amount the insurer will pay for covered losses. In this case, since the damages amount to $250,000 but the policy limit is $200,000, the insurer will pay up to the policy limit of $200,000. Option B is incorrect because the policyholder cannot receive more than the limit. Option C is also incorrect. The claim is not denied simply because the damages exceed the limit. Finally, option D is misleading because while the policyholder will receive $200,000, they are not responsible for the excess amount since it falls outside the coverage limit. Question 21. Adjuster ethics. An adjuster learns that a claimant has a previous history of insurance fraud while handling a current claim for theft. What should the adjuster do in this scenario? A. Ignore the previous history and proceed with the claim as normal. B. Immediately deny the claim based on the claimant's past actions. C. Investigate the current claim thoroughly, taking the past history into account, but focus on the specifics of the current situation. D. Report the claimant to the police for their past history of fraud. Answer. C. Investigate the current claim thoroughly, taking the past history into account, but focus on the specifics of the current situation. Explanation. The adjuster must conduct a thorough investigation of the current claim while considering the claimant's past history of fraud. It is essential to evaluate the validity of the current claim based on its own merits and evidence rather than automatically assuming it is fraudulent due to previous behavior. Option is negligent as it overlooks pertinent information. Option B is inappropriate because a claim cannot be denied without proper investigation. Reporting to the police. Option D would be premature and could be seen as unethical unless there is substantial evidence of fraud in the current case. Question 22. Coverage options. A tenant is renting an apartment and is interested in protecting their personal belongings. Which type of insurance should the tenant consider purchasing? A. Homeowner's insurance. B. Renter's insurance. C. Landlord's insurance. D. Business owner's policy. Answer. B. Renter's insurance. Explanation. Renter's insurance is specifically designed to protect tenants' personal belongings in a rented apartment. It covers losses due to theft, fire, and other hazards outlined in the policy. Homeowner's insurance, option A, is for property owners, while landlord's insurance, option C, covers property owners against risks associated with rental properties. A business owner's policy, option D, is tailored for business operations, not personal belongings in a rental situation. Question 23. Comparative negligence. A driver is involved in an accident where both parties are found to be partially at fault. The total damages amount to $10,000 and the driver is determined to be 40% at fault. How much will the insurance company pay if the driver has a policy that allows for comparative negligence? A. $10,000. B. $6,000. C. $4,000. D. $8,000. Answer. B. $6,000. Explanation. In a comparative negligence system, the amount of damages a claimant can recover is reduced by their percentage of fault. If the driver is 40% at fault, they would be liable for 40% of the damages, which amounts to $4,000. Therefore, the insurance company will pay the remaining 60%, which is insurance pay manual's total damages. Driver's Ali was $1,000. 4,000 Ali equals $6,000. Thus, the insurer will cover $6,000. Question 24. Coverage endorsements. An insured has a standard auto insurance policy but is concerned about the risks of driving in a high-crime area. Which endorsement might they consider adding to their policy for additional protection? A. Collision coverage. B. Comprehensive coverage. C. Rental car reimbursement. D. Personal injury protection. Answer. B. Comprehensive coverage. Explanation. Comprehensive coverage protects against non-collision related damages to the vehicle, including theft, vandalism, and damage from natural disasters. Given the concerns about driving in a high-crime area, this coverage would be particularly relevant. Collision coverage, option A, protects against damages from a collision but would not address risks associated with theft or vandalism. Rental car reimbursement, option C, helps cover rental costs while a car is being repaired but does not provide additional protection for the vehicle itself. Personal injury protection, option D, covers medical expenses then does not relate to vehicle damage. Question 25. Insurance fraud awareness. During a routine claims review, an adjuster suspects that a claim may be fraudulent due to inconsistencies in the claimant's statement. What is the best first step for the adjuster to take? A. Deny the claim immediately based on suspicion. B. Conduct further investigation to gather additional evidence before making a determination. C. Contact the claimant to confront them about the inconsistencies. D. Notify the claims manager and request an audit of the claim. Answer. B. Conduct further investigation to gather additional evidence before making a determination. Explanation. It is crucial for the adjuster to conduct a thorough investigation before jumping to conclusions about potential fraud. This investigation may include gathering more evidence, reviewing policy details, and examining the circumstances surrounding the claim. Option A is premature and could lead to liability issues if the claim is legitimate. Confronting the claimant, option C, may escalate the situation unnecessarily and could be seen as unprofessional, while notifying the claims manager, option D, may be appropriate in some cases. It is essential to have more information before escalating the issue. Question 26. Liability coverage. A property owner has a general liability insurance policy with a limit of $1 million. If a visitor slips and falls on the property and files a lawsuit for $1.5 million, how will the insurance company respond in this situation? A. The insurance company will pay the full $1.5 million since the claim is valid. B. The insurance company will pay $1 million and the property owner is responsible for the remaining $500,000. C. The insurance company will deny the claim because the amount exceeds the policy limit. D. The insurance company will negotiate the claim down to the policy limit. Answer B. The insurance company will pay $1 million and the property owner is responsible for the remaining $500,000. Explanation. Liability insurance covers the insured for claims up to the policy limit. In this case, since the general liability insurance has a limit of $1 million, that is the maximum amount the insurer will pay for this claim, the property owner is liable for the remaining amount of the judgment, $500,000, exceeds the insurance coverage. Option A is incorrect because the insurer cannot pay more than the policy limit. Option C is incorrect. The claim won't be denied, but the payment will be limited. Option D misrepresents the insurer's obligation and they cannot simply negotiate down the claim unless both parties agree. Question 27. Policy exclusions. Which of the following is typically NOT covered by standard homeowners insurance policies? A. Damage caused by fire. B. Damage caused by flooding. C. Theft of personal property. D. Liability for injuries sustained on the property. Answer B. Damage caused by flooding. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically exclude coverage for flood damage. Homeowners must purchase a separate flood insurance policy, often through the National Flood Insurance Program (NFIP), to cover such risks. Options A, C, and D are generally covered under homeowners insurance, addressing different risks that the policy is designed to mitigate. Understanding these exclusions is crucial for adjusters when assessing claims and advising policyholders. Question 28. Claims handling procedures. When handling a property damage claim, which steps should an adjuster take first? A. Finalize the claim payment to the policyholder. B. Conduct an investigation to determine the cause of loss. C. Contact the policyholder to discuss their coverage limits. D. Assess the damages and prepare a settlement offer. Answer B. Conduct an investigation to determine the cause of loss. Explanation. The first step in handling a property damage claim is to conduct a thorough investigation to determine the cause of loss and whether the claim is valid under the terms of the policy. This investigation helps in gathering facts, assessing liability, and understanding the context of the damages reported. Options A, C, and D are premature actions that should only occur after an investigation has confirmed the legitimacy of the claim and gathered necessary evidence. Proper claims handling ensures compliance with regulations and protects the insurer from potential fraud. Question 29. Underwriting guidelines. What is the primary purpose of underwriting in the insurance industry? A. To adjust claims based on the level of damage. B. To determine the risk associated with insuring a person or property. C. To market insurance policies to potential customers. D. To evaluate and implement loss control measures. Answer B. To determine the risk associated with insuring a person or property. Explanation. Underwriting is the process by which insurers evaluate the risk of insuring an applicant and decide on the terms of coverage, including premiums and exclusions. The underwriter assesses various factors, including the applicant's history, the property characteristics, and potential risks. Option A relates to claims adjustment, while option C pertains to marketing efforts, and option D involves risk management rather than underwriting. Understanding the role of underwriting is essential for adjusters as it influences policy terms and coverage decisions. Question 30. Risk assessment. During a risk assessment for a commercial property, which of the following factors should an adjuster consider most critical? A. The property's market value. B. The property's age and condition. C. The owner's credit score. D. The type of business operations conducted on the premises. Answer D. The type of business operations conducted on the premises. Explanation. The type of business operations is critical in assessing risk because different businesses have varying exposure levels to hazards and liabilities. For example, a restaurant may present different risks compared to a retail store. While the property's market value, option A, and its age and condition, option B, are important, they do not directly influence the operational risks as significantly. The owner's credit score, option C, is less relevant in the context of property risk assessment for insurance purposes. Effective risk assessment helps adjusters determine appropriate coverage and premiums for the insured.